Hello, friends. If you're excited to learn all about the movie The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, 2024, in English, don't forget to give this video a like. And if it's your first time with us, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We dive into the best movies, so join us and never miss out on the latest content. Let's get started. The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, 2024, is a heartwarming and humorous adaptation of the beloved classic Christmas story, originally written by Barbara Robinson. This new version brings a festive tale to life with vibrant performances, a touch of humor, and all the charm of the holiday season. Perfect for families, the film highlights the importance of compassion, inclusion, and the true meaning of Christmas through the unlikely journey of a group of mischievous and misunderstood kids, the Herdmans. As the story follows the Herdman children, known for their wild behavior and rough upbringing, it takes us on a journey of redemption, growth, and ultimately understanding. The movie beautifully captures the magic of Christmas, the joy of giving, and how sometimes the most unlikely people can teach us the most valuable lessons. Set against the backdrop of a small town preparing for its annual Christmas pageant, this movie explores themes of acceptance, second chances, and the unexpected power of faith. At its core, The Best Christmas Pageant Ever is a story about an annual Christmas pageant in a church that gets turned upside down when the notorious Herdman children are cast in key roles. Known for causing chaos and disruption wherever they go, the Herdmans, Imogen, Ralph, Leroy, Claude, and Ollie, are far from the typical Christmas pageant performers. Their rough behavior and lack of knowledge about the Christmas story itself make them an unusual choice for the production. However, what begins as a challenge for the pageant director, the church, and the rest of the kids involved soon becomes a transformative experience that changes everything. The film focuses not only on the pageant itself, but also on the relationship between the Herdmans and the other children involved, particularly the protagonist, Beth. The pageant becomes a backdrop for deeper themes of empathy, forgiveness, and what it truly means to give and receive love. As the Herdmans begin to understand the story of Christmas, they also start to transform, bringing their own unique perspective to the pageant and to the people around them. Their journey from mischief makers to unlikely heroes adds layers of depth to the holiday classic, providing plenty of moments of laughter, warmth, and even a few tears. The central plot revolves around the preparations for the Christmas pageant, which have been organized by the church members for years. The usual group of well-behaved kids has been practicing the traditional script, but the arrival of the Herdman children upends everything. At first, the other kids and adults in the church are hesitant, even fearful of the Herdman's involvement, but as they work together on the pageant, surprising bonds are formed. The Herdman's raw, unrefined approach to the Christmas story leads to both humor and inspiration, culminating in a performance that redefines what Christmas is all about. The movie begins by introducing us to the small, tight-knit town where the Christmas pageant is a major holiday tradition. The local church, headed by a well-meaning but somewhat overburdened congregation, has always run the same predictable pageant year after year. This year, however, things take an unexpected turn when the notorious Herdman siblings, Imogen, Ralph, Leroy, Claude, and Ollie, decide to sign up for the pageant. The Herdmans are known for their wild behavior and their reputation for causing trouble. They live in a rundown apartment, have little to no regard for authority, and are feared by the other children in the town. Initially, the pageant director, Mrs. Armstrong, is horrified by the Herdman kids' sudden interest in the pageant. The rest of the children in the church are just as apprehensive, especially since the Herdmans have little to no knowledge of the Christmas story. They're unfamiliar with traditional religious customs and don't even know what the Christmas story is truly about. Mrs. Armstrong, who had envisioned a perfect and traditional performance, is thrown into a whirlwind of chaos as she tries to work with the Herdmans and keep the pageant from descending into disaster. The Herdmans' disruptive energy becomes a major issue, and the other children try their best to steer clear of them. However, as the rehearsals progress, the Herdmans' presence begins to have a surprising impact. The more they learn about the Christmas story, the more they connect with the message of compassion and kindness. Imogen, the eldest of the Herdman children, lands the role of Mary, and the rest of the kids take on important roles. Ralph and Leroy play the shepherds, and the younger Herdman children are cast as angels. Throughout the movie, the audience is treated to a series of funny, heartwarming, and sometimes poignant moments. The Herdman's complete lack of familiarity with the nativity story leads to a series of misunderstandings and hilarious situations. But as they begin to grasp the meaning behind the Christmas narrative, their attitudes begin to shift. Their initial disregard for the other children softens as they experience the kindness and generosity that others show them, and they start to embrace the true meaning of Christmas: love, acceptance, and the importance of community. As the pageant draws closer, the children, along with the adults, begin to see the Herdmans in a new light. Their raw, unfiltered approach to the Christmas story brings an honesty and sincerity to the performance that transforms the entire production. In the final act, the pageant is nothing like the traditional, predictable event that had been planned. Instead, it becomes an unpredictable, heartfelt celebration of Christmas that surprises everyone involved. The Herdmans, who once seemed like the town's biggest troublemakers, ultimately become the stars of the show, reminding everyone of the importance of compassion, understanding, and the Christmas spirit. One of the key elements that makes the best Christmas pageant ever stand out is its unexpected emotional depth. As we mentioned earlier, the Herdmans' journey is one of growth and transformation, and it's their evolution that gives the film its heart. What starts as a simple story about a chaotic Christmas pageant becomes a moving exploration of second chances, empathy, and the power of community. The twists in the film come from the subtle changes that occur within the Herdman family. Initially feared by everyone, the Herdmans gradually open up, allowing the audience to see their vulnerability and ultimately their potential for change. A major twist occurs during the final performance of the pageant. What was expected to be a disaster, due to the Herdmans' lack of experience and their chaotic behavior, becomes an emotional and uplifting moment. The unexpected nature of the pageant performance and the surprising depth the Herdmans bring to their roles as Mary, the shepherds, and angels is a key moment in the film. It's a twist that emphasizes the film's larger themes of growth, redemption, and the transformative power of faith. Additionally, the relationship between the protagonist, Beth, and the Herdmans adds an interesting layer to the narrative. Throughout the movie, the themes of misunderstanding, redemption, and unexpected kindness are intertwined, creating a film that balances humor and heart in a way that makes it accessible to audiences of all ages. From the hilarious chaos of the pageant rehearsals to the touching moments of character development, the best Christmas pageant ever keeps you on your toes, proving that the best Christmas miracles often come from the most unlikely sources. In conclusion, the best Christmas pageant ever, 2024, is a delightful and thought-provoking holiday film that combines laughter, heart, and important life lessons. It is a timeless tale of growth, acceptance, and the true meaning of Christmas. It serves as a reminder that even the most unexpected people can have a profound impact on the world around them, and that sometimes it's the least likely heroes who show us what Christmas is really all about. In the best Christmas pageant ever, 2024, the characters are the heartbeat of the story, each bringing their unique traits, flaws, and growth to the narrative. From the chaotic Herdman children to the well-meaning but initially hesitant other characters, each plays an integral part in the story's exploration of redemption, compassion, and the true meaning of Christmas. Let's take a deep dive into the characters, exploring their personalities, relationships, and their journeys over the course of the film. At the center of the movie is Beth, the protagonist, a young girl who is initially shocked and wary of the Herdman children's involvement in the church's Christmas pageant. Beth, portrayed with warmth and sincerity, starts off as the typical well-behaved child who has been involved in the pageant for years. She represents the voice of reason and normalcy in the face of chaos. As the story unfolds, Beth becomes the audience's anchor, guiding us through the tumultuous changes brought on by the Herdman siblings' participation. Beth's transformation over the course of the film is subtle yet powerful. At the start, she views the Herdmans with suspicion, not understanding why they have chosen to join the pageant or what their involvement will mean for the town's Christmas traditions. However, as she gets to know them better and sees their vulnerability, she begins to realize that her initial assumptions about the Herdmans were wrong. This shift is one of the film's most important arcs, showing that people are often misunderstood and that compassion can bridge even the deepest divides. Beth also serves as the moral compass of the story, helping others see the value in giving second chances and not judging others based on their past actions. By the end of the movie, she has learned a profound lesson about empathy and kindness, and her development is one of the most rewarding aspects of the film. Imogene Herdman, the eldest of the Herdman siblings, is perhaps the most intriguing character in the film. Initially, Imogene is tough, abrasive, and somewhat intimidating to the other children in the town. She's seen as the leader of the Herdman family, taking on the role of Mary in the Christmas pageant. Imogene's portrayal is multifaceted, as she evolves from a seemingly rebellious and unruly child into someone who begins to understand the deeper meaning of Christmas. What makes Imogene such a compelling character is her complexity. Beneath her tough exterior lies a girl who has never known love, care, or understanding. The Herdmans' rough upbringing, with little to no adult supervision or emotional support, has made Imogene distrustful of others and resistant to change. However, as the story progresses and she takes on the role of Mary in the pageant, Imogene slowly begins to soften. She starts to grasp the significance of the Christmas story, not just as a religious narrative, but as a story about kindness, compassion, and second chances. Imogene's relationship with the other characters, particularly Beth and the other children in the pageant, is a key part of her development. Through her interactions with Beth, she learns that not all people are out to judge her or her family. The bond that forms between them is significant because it shows that even the most misunderstood individuals can form meaningful connections with others, no matter their background. Ralph, Imogene's older brother, is another key character who undergoes a transformation throughout the film. Known for his mischievous behavior and frequent troublemaking, Ralph is initially cast as one of the shepherds in the pageant. His performance is full of energy and comic relief, as he struggles to understand the story and his role in it. Like Imogene, Ralph's behavior is a result of his troubled home life, where love and guidance are often in short supply. Ralph is, in many ways, the embodiment of youthful rebellion, but his character is not without depth. As he learns more about the story of Christmas, his view of the world begins to shift. He is not a malicious character. He is simply a product of his environment. His transformation, although less pronounced than Imogene's, is still important, as it shows that change is possible even for those who seem to be lost causes. Ralph's character represents the idea that people can grow and evolve, even if it seems impossible at first. Leroy, another member of the Herdman family, is the middle child and perhaps the most mischievous. He's often seen causing trouble for the other kids, and his role in the pageant brings both tension and humor to the story. While Leroy's antics are often played for laughs, his character also highlights the difficulties that many children face when they come from difficult backgrounds. Leroy's character, like his siblings, is a product of neglect and hardship, but as the pageant progresses, he begins to show signs of growth. Leroy's interactions with the other kids in the church pageant are filled with conflict and comedy, but as the movie moves forward, it becomes clear that Leroy is not beyond redemption. His role as a shepherd in the pageant, although clumsy and chaotic, allows him to connect with the other characters in a way that he never has before. His final moments in the pageant, filled with sincerity and earnestness, reveal a side of Leroy that we haven't seen before. His transformation, like that of his siblings, is a subtle but powerful testament to the idea that no one is beyond the possibility of change. The younger Herdman children, Claude and Ollie, serve as additional layers to the overall character dynamics in the story. While they are not as central to the narrative as Imogene, Ralph, and Leroy, they still contribute to the overall sense of chaos and unpredictability that surrounds the pageant. Claude, with his quiet demeanor, is often overshadowed by his older siblings, but he still plays an important role in the story's progression. Ollie, the youngest of the Herdmans, brings innocence and a sense of purity to the group, and his participation in the pageant is a turning point for the entire family. What's fascinating about the Herdman children as a whole is that, while they initially come across as wild and unruly, they are also deeply human. Their actions, while often disruptive, are rooted in their need for attention, love, and understanding. Their involvement in the pageant, while initially seen as a mistake, becomes a catalyst for change, not only for them but for everyone around them. Then there's Mrs. Armstrong, the well-meaning but overwhelmed pageant director. Mrs. Armstrong represents the traditional, idealistic view of Christmas, a time for perfect performances and well-behaved children. However, as the story unfolds, she begins to learn that perfection is not the ultimate goal of the Christmas pageant. Through her interactions with the Herdman children, she comes to understand that the pageant is about more than just putting on a show. It's about embracing the unexpected, accepting people as they are, and allowing the true message of Christmas to shine through. In contrast to Mrs. Armstrong, there's the character of the narrator, who provides much of the film's commentary. Through her perspective, the audience gains insight into the deeper themes of the story, such as acceptance, family, and the power of second chances. The narrator's voice serves as a bridge between the audience and the events of the pageant, providing context and emotional depth to the unfolding drama. The other children in the town also play important roles in shaping the story. They represent the more traditional, well-behaved youth of the community, contrasting sharply with the unruly Herdmans. Initially, these children are skeptical and even hostile toward the Herdmans, but as they witness the Herdmans' growth and transformation, they begin to understand that Christmas is about more than following rules and traditions. It's about love and inclusion. In conclusion, the characters in the best Christmas pageant ever are rich, multifaceted, and central to the film's overall message. Through their growth, humor, and interactions with one another, they embody the themes of redemption, compassion, and the unexpected lessons that Christmas can bring. The Herdmans, in particular, serve as a reminder that even the most misunderstood people can change, and that it's often the least likely heroes who bring the greatest lessons to our lives. The first half of the Best Christmas Pageant Ever, 2024, sets the stage for the unfolding of an unconventional and heartwarming Christmas story. The film begins by introducing us to the seemingly perfect, peaceful community where everything appears to be in its right place. However, this tranquility is soon disrupted by the arrival of the Herdman family, a group of 6 unruly, rowdy children who are known throughout the town for causing trouble wherever they go. This shift in the balance of the town's routine provides the spark for the story's central conflict, and it's in the first half that we begin to understand both the source of tension and the potential for change. The story is narrated by Beth, a young girl who lives in this small town and who has been a part of the church's annual Christmas pageant for as long as she can remember. The opening scenes introduce the audience to the pageant's established traditions. Every year, it's a big event that the children look forward to and the adults carefully organize. The tone is light-hearted and festive, with a sense of nostalgic warmth surrounding the event. However, it's soon clear that this year will be different, as the church's pageant director, Mrs. Armstrong, has been taken ill, leaving room for someone new to take over. This unexpected turn of events creates a ripple effect, with new ideas and challenges arising for those involved in the pageant's production. Beth, as the narrator, provides the audience with insight into her life, her thoughts, and her observations about the people around her. She introduces us to her friends and family, giving us a snapshot of her world before the arrival of the Herdmans. Initially, Beth is shown to be a typical, well-behaved child, excited for Christmas and looking forward to the pageant, where she has always had a role. She's part of a family that embraces the traditions of the holiday, and their participation in the pageant is an extension of this. The stage is set, and it's clear that for Beth, Christmas and the pageant are rituals that represent normalcy and a sense of belonging. However, the tranquility of this setup is disrupted when the Herdman children, Imogene, Ralph, Leroy, Claude, Ollie, and the youngest, show up at the church one day, wanting to join the pageant. Their entrance is jarring, to say the least, and the other children and adults are immediately put on edge. The Herdmans are seen as a problem for the town, with their bad reputation preceding them wherever they go. They've never been a part of anything like the church pageant, and their behavior is far from what anyone would consider appropriate. In fact, the mere idea of them participating in such a sacred event is initially met with shock and resistance. Their presence introduces the central tension of the story. How will the traditional, neatly packaged pageant unfold when it's thrown into chaos by the most unlikely of participants? Beth, who is initially skeptical and even resentful of the Herdmans, recounts her observations of the family, making it clear that these kids are not just mischievous. They're also misunderstood. The Herdman children are portrayed as rough around the edges, with no real understanding of the holiday's meaning or of social norms in general. However, as Beth's narration continues, the audience begins to see glimpses of the hardships the Herdmans face, which helps humanize them. The children's rude behavior stems not from malice, but from the neglect and hardship they've endured at home. They've grown up in an environment that's unkind, uncaring, and chaotic, which has shaped who they are. Yet, there's an underlying sense that they are simply looking for a place to belong, a place where they can be seen for who they really are. The first half of the film focuses heavily on the reactions of the other children and adults in the town to the Herdmans' involvement in the pageant. There's a sense of disbelief and apprehension from the other kids, who are used to the familiar roles and routines of the pageant. The idea of the Herdmans, who have no real understanding of the Christmas story, taking on key roles is met with resistance, but also curiosity. This dynamic sets the stage for much of the film's humor, as the Herdman children's approach to the pageant's characters is anything but traditional. For instance, Imogene, the oldest of the Herdman siblings, is cast as Mary, but her portrayal is nothing like the sweet, innocent figure typically seen in nativity plays. Instead, Imogene brings a level of aggression and forcefulness to the role, which shakes up the entire performance. Her interactions with the other children are awkward, uncomfortable, and yet oddly endearing, as she slowly begins to understand the deeper significance of her role. In this first half, the film also begins to highlight the emotional and thematic undercurrents that will drive the story forward. One of the key themes is the idea of outsiders finding their place in the world, and how society tends to marginalize those who don't fit into conventional norms. The Herdmans, as rough and unpolished as they are, become a mirror to the community's own assumptions and biases. They're not just misfits. They represent the overlooked, the rejected, and the misunderstood members of society. Through their involvement in the pageant, they challenge the other characters and the audience to rethink what it means to belong and to embrace others, flaws and all. The pacing in the first half of the film is relatively steady, with the story unfolding through a series of key events that build toward the inevitable climax of the pageant itself. Early on, the film introduces a sense of tension as the characters react to the presence of the Herdmans, and the audience is left wondering how things will unfold. The plot moves with purpose, offering small but significant moments of character development. We see how Beth and the other children gradually start to realize that the Herdmans, despite their rough edges, are human too, and that they too have a place in the pageant. This slow evolution of understanding and empathy is a central element of the first half, and it sets the stage for the eventual heartwarming resolution that will come in the latter half of the film. In terms of narrative structure, the first half of the film is devoted to establishing the conflict and setting up the relationships between the characters. The humor of the film also begins to emerge, with the Herdmans' chaotic presence providing moments of comic relief, especially as they interact with more traditionally minded children and adults in the church. The film doesn't shy away from the absurdity of the situation, but it also leaves room for more serious and emotional moments, as it becomes clear that the Herdmans are not just troublemakers. They're children who have never known love or guidance, and their involvement in the pageant may be their chance for redemption. As the first half progresses, we see the impact of the Herdman children on the other characters. Their interactions with the adults, particularly with the pageant director Mrs. Armstrong and the other children, are awkward at first, but slowly they begin to soften. The pageant, which was once viewed as a well-oiled machine, starts to feel more organic and unpredictable. This shift in tone marks the beginning of a more profound transformation for the characters, and it hints at the larger message of the film. Christmas is not about perfection. It's about acceptance, love, and understanding. By the end of the first half, we've been introduced to all of the major characters and the central conflict of the film. We've seen the tension rise as the Herdmans make their mark on the pageant, and we've witnessed the growing realization that, despite their roughness, these children have the potential to teach everyone around them something important. The first half of the film serves as the foundation for the story's emotional and thematic development, setting up the arcs of the characters and the key moments that will follow. The themes of acceptance, redemption, and the true meaning of Christmas begin to take shape, providing the emotional depth that will resonate in the second half of the film. In conclusion, the first half of the best Christmas pageant ever lays the groundwork for the rest of the story, offering a blend of humor, tension, and heart. The film introduces the central conflict with the Herdmans' involvement in the pageant, and it sets up the relationships between the characters in a way that allows for emotional growth and transformation. The pacing is steady. The themes are beginning to emerge, and the narrative structure is focused on developing the characters and building towards the eventual resolution. As we move into the second half, the stage is set for the pageant to become more than just a holiday tradition. It will become a symbol of the power of acceptance, love, and the unexpected lessons that Christmas can bring. As the second half of the best Christmas pageant ever unfolds, the initial tension and chaos caused by the arrival of the Herdman children in the pageant gives way to moments of transformation, personal growth, and heartwarming resolution. In this section of the film, the narrative builds toward its emotional climax, weaving together the themes of redemption, acceptance, and the true meaning of Christmas. The plot moves from discomfort and conflict to understanding and unity, ultimately culminating in a powerful, life-changing experience for the Herdman family and the entire community. The first major turning point occurs when the Herdmans, despite their initial misunderstandings and chaotic approach to their roles in the pageant, begin to show signs of a deeper understanding of what Christmas really means. The children, especially Imogen, who is playing the role of Mary, begin to grasp the true significance of the nativity story. As they learn about the birth of Jesus, their understanding evolves. Imogen, who initially saw the pageant as just another opportunity to break the rules, slowly becomes absorbed in the story and the emotions behind it. The more she learns about Mary's role, the more she begins to connect with her character, realizing that Mary was someone who had to endure hardship, confusion, and doubt, much like the Herdman family. The transformative moment comes when Imogen, in a rare moment of introspection, reflects on her life and the similarities between her own struggles and those of Mary. She begins to see the pageant not just as a performance, but as a chance for her to express herself and find a sense of belonging. It's in these moments of vulnerability that the film begins to move away from the comedy of chaos and towards something more poignant. Imogen's growth is the heart of the second half, and it's through her character's evolution that the broader themes of acceptance and understanding take center stage. In the meantime, the rest of the Herdman children also start to show their own growth. Ralph, Leroy, and Claude, who had been disruptive in the earlier stages, begin to fall into their roles in the pageant. The director and the other children, who had once been reluctant and judgmental, begin to see the Herdmans differently. Rather than focusing on their behavior as troublemakers, they start to recognize the struggles these children face. For the first time, the Herdman family is given a chance to shine, not through perfection, but through their unique personalities and their unpolished, raw sincerity. They may not fit the mold of what the pageant was supposed to be, but in their own way, they become the most memorable and meaningful part of it. As the pageant draws closer, the Herdmans' involvement begins to change the dynamics of the entire event. The other children, who had initially resented the Herdmans' presence, begin to support them in small but meaningful ways. The other kids start to help Imogen, Ralph, and the rest of the Herdman children learn their lines and understand the deeper meaning of their roles. The parents and other adults, who had been skeptical and hesitant at first, begin to see the beauty in the way the Herdmans approach the pageant. Raw, imperfect, but heartfelt. Their portrayal of the nativity story is unlike anything the church has ever seen before, but it becomes something more authentic, and in its own way, it reflects the true spirit of Christmas. The emotional climax of the film arrives on the night of the pageant, when the Herdmans, despite their rough edges, bring the story of Christ's birth to life in a way that no one could have expected. Imogen, in particular, gives a performance that is raw and emotional. As Mary, she doesn't just recite lines. She conveys the uncertainty, fear, and hope that come with being a young mother chosen for such an extraordinary role. Her portrayal is a far cry from the idealized, perfect version of Mary that the pageant had always showcased, but it's far more powerful because of it. Imogen's Mary is a real, relatable figure, someone who, like the Herdman children, is trying to make sense of a world that hasn't been kind to her but still holds out hope. The other children, too, bring their own energy and personality to their roles. Ralph, who plays Joseph, approaches the role with a mix of stoic seriousness and unexpected tenderness. The chemistry between Ralph and Imogen as Mary and Joseph becomes a key part of the pageant's success. Their interactions are awkward at times, but there's a genuine connection between them, and their portrayal of the Holy Family feels real and true to the spirit of the story. The adults, watching from the sidelines, are taken aback by the rawness and sincerity of the performance. What was initially seen as a disaster has transformed into something beautiful and moving, capturing the essence of the Christmas story in a way no one had anticipated. The climax of the pageant is not just a turning point for the Herdman children, but for the entire community. The members of the church, who had been hesitant and judgmental at the beginning, find themselves humbled and moved by what they have witnessed. They've been shown that Christmas is not about perfection or adhering to tradition, but about love, acceptance, and understanding. The Herdman children, who had been seen as outsiders, are now embraced as part of the community, and their involvement in the pageant has brought about a change in the hearts of those around them. In the aftermath of the pageant, the resolution of the story takes shape. The Herdman children, once considered the town's troublemakers, have gained a sense of belonging. The community, too, has learned a valuable lesson about inclusion, compassion, and the true meaning of the holiday season. The adults, who had once viewed the Herdmans with disdain, now see them for who they really are, children who, despite their rough exterior, are capable of great goodness. The town has come together in a way that none of them expected, united by the shared experience of the pageant and the lessons it taught them all. As the film draws to a close, the final scenes are filled with warmth and hope. The Herdman family, once isolated and rejected, has found their place in the community, and the town has been forever changed by the experience. The film ends on a note of optimism, reminding the audience that even in the most unexpected of circumstances, there is always room for redemption and growth. The Herdman children have learned the true meaning of Christmas, not just through the pageant, but through the love and acceptance they've received from others. Their transformation, along with the transformation of the community, is a reminder that the holiday season is not just about tradition or perfection. It's about the willingness to embrace others, no matter how imperfect they may seem. In conclusion, the second half of the best Christmas pageant ever is a powerful and emotional journey of transformation for both the Herdman children and the entire community. Through their involvement in the pageant, the Herdmans are able to find a sense of belonging, and the town learns the true meaning of Christmas. The film's major plot twists, climaxes, and resolutions come together to create a heartwarming and inspiring story of redemption, acceptance, and love. The journey of the Herdman children, from outsiders to beloved members of the community, is a testament to the power of empathy and understanding, and it serves as a reminder that Christmas is not about perfection, but about the willingness to open our hearts to others. The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, 2024, weaves together a tapestry of meaningful events that contribute to its lasting emotional impact, critical reception, and thematic resonance. Each pivotal moment, from the initial disruption caused by the Herdman children to the cathartic transformation of characters, serves to deepen the narrative and elevate its thematic focus. These key events not only shape the film's progression, but also serve as reflections of real-life societal and emotional struggles, creating a broader, relatable experience for the audience. Let's explore these significant events and how they align with the film's overarching themes. building both emotional depth and critical acclaim. The film opens with the chaotic arrival of the Heiman children at the church, disrupting the traditional Christmas pageant rehearsal. This initial event is critical in setting up the premise and tone of the film. The Heiman, infamous in the town for their wild behavior and disregard for social norms, represent the outcast and the misunderstood. Their intrusion into the pageant rehearsals symbolizes the clash between the traditional and the new, the expected and the unexpected. The audience is immediately confronted with the disruptive energy the Heiman bring to this familiar, sacred setting. Their disruptive nature, represented through actions like stealing food, causing havoc during rehearsals, and generally undermining authority, presents a sharp contrast to the respectful, idealized portrayal of a community that typically surrounds a Christmas pageant. From a critical standpoint, this moment sets up the tension between the innocent, sometimes naive nature of the churchgoers and the brash reality the Heiman forced them to confront. The pageant, which has always been a symbol of community togetherness and religious tradition, is now thrown into disarray by the unexpected participation of these unruly children. However, this event also begins to establish one of the film's key motifs, the power of transformation. The Heiman children, initially seen as a disruptive force, slowly begin to reveal the depth of their character as the story unfolds. The central theme of redemption is introduced early on. Can these seemingly irredeemable children have a change of heart, or will they remain forever untamed? As the plot progresses, the Heiman children begin to take on roles in the pageant, and their performances grow from chaotic missteps to something more meaningful. A pivotal event is when Imogen Heiman, initially cast as Mary, begins to bring an unexpected intensity and raw emotion to her portrayal. For the first time, she steps away from her hardened exterior and reveals vulnerability. This moment is symbolic in that it reflects the complexity of human nature. Imogen's anger and rebelliousness are born not out of malice, but out of neglect and a lack of nurturing. This small but significant transformation highlights one of the film's central tenets, that people, no matter how rough around the edges, have the capacity for growth and change. From a critical perspective, Imogen's transition from a troublemaker to a more sensitive Mary in the pageant is central to the film's emotional resonance. Her journey highlights the theme of the underdog, the misunderstood individual who, when given the right opportunity, can thrive in unexpected ways. This plot development moves the film beyond its comedic roots and into a deeper emotional exploration of compassion, understanding, and human connection. In many ways, this emotional shift represents the heart of the movie, as the audience sees through the facade of the Heiman children and starts to empathize with their plight. It's a reflection of the broader societal theme that many people's bad behavior stems from unmet emotional needs or a lack of opportunity, rather than inherent malice. Another major event that shapes the emotional arc of the film is the church congregation's decision to allow the Heiman children to continue their involvement in the pageant, despite the initial chaos they cause. At first, the congregation is hesitant and skeptical about their participation, but through a series of interactions and realizations, they begin to see that the Heiman are simply children who need guidance and love. The shift in perspective from judgment to acceptance is crucial to understanding the film's broader message. It speaks to the power of inclusivity and how true community is built not just on shared experiences, but on accepting differences, showing compassion, and offering second chances. This event also acts as a turning point in the narrative structure, where the town and the characters experience a deeper understanding of their own biases. It challenges the audience to reflect on how easily judgments are made based on appearances or reputations without understanding the full context of someone's behavior. It's a moment of introspection for both the characters and viewers alike. The film, through this sequence, subtly critiques societal tendencies to ostracize those who are different and instead advocates for empathy and understanding as a path toward healing and growth. The ultimate climax of the film occurs during the Christmas pageant itself. By now, the Heiman children have learned the ropes of the pageant, and they perform their roles in ways that are unexpected, emotional, and at times unconventional. The pageant, which is supposed to be a quaint and familiar event, is turned upside down by their raw and unscripted performances. But instead of the expected chaos, what follows is a moment of profound beauty. The Heiman children's portrayal of their roles brings a realness and authenticity to the nativity story. In particular, Imogene's portrayal of Mary, with her sincerity and vulnerability, transforms what was once a crude and rebellious act into a moment of deep emotional significance. The emotional resonance of this scene is amplified by the fact that the church congregation, once so critical and dismissive, now witnesses a performance that is undeniably powerful. The audience's understanding of the Heimans is shifted. What was once seen as disruptive behavior is now understood as an expression of emotion and truth. This moment underscores one of the film's central themes: the ability for redemption and transformation, even in the most unlikely of individuals. From a critical viewpoint, this climax is the film's emotional apex. It brings together all the film's thematic strands, redemption, empathy, understanding, and community, into a cohesive, powerful resolution. The pageant's unexpected success mirrors the larger message of the film, that no matter how much one is labeled or judged by society, there is always room for change, for a second chance, and for growth. It's an uplifting moment not just for the characters within the story, but for the audience as well, making them reflect on their own biases and assumptions. Following the pageant, the film reaches its resolution as the Heiman children find their place within the community. This resolution is satisfying, not because it ties up every loose end, but because it leaves room for hope. The film doesn't sugarcoat the difficulties the Heiman children face. It acknowledges that their journey is ongoing, but it suggests that through kindness and understanding, they will continue to improve. This open-ended conclusion is one of the film's strengths, as it doesn't offer a simplistic happily ever after, but instead emphasizes the real-world struggles that come with growth and change. Thematic depth is evident throughout the film, but it's particularly apparent in the critical events that propel the narrative forward. These moments, when viewed from a thematic standpoint, contribute to the film's message of human resilience and the importance of community. They also make the film resonate emotionally with audiences as they confront their own feelings about acceptance, judgment, and change. The character arcs of the Heiman children, especially Imogen, mirror these larger societal themes, and their transformation serves as a reminder of the power of empathy and inclusion. The critical reception of the film largely acknowledges these thematic and emotional undercurrents. Critics have praised the film for not shying away from the messy, complicated realities of human relationships, while still maintaining a sense of warmth and hope. The film's ability to balance humor with genuine emotional depth is one of the reasons it has resonated so deeply with audiences of all ages. It is, at its core, a story of hope. Hope that people can change, that communities can heal, and that no one is beyond redemption. These elements combine to give the best Christmas pageant ever a lasting emotional resonance that continues to captivate audiences long after the credits roll. In conclusion, the key events in the best Christmas pageant ever 2024 do much more than move the plot forward. They serve as emotional touchstones that deepen the film's thematic richness. From the Heiman children's disruptive arrival at the church to their heartfelt performance in the pageant, each major event underscores a central message: that empathy, understanding, and inclusion are powerful forces for change. These events not only contribute to the film's impact and reception, but also allow the film to explore themes of redemption, transformation, and community in a way that resonates emotionally and critically. The making of the best Christmas pageant ever, 2024, is a journey of collaboration, creativity, and unexpected moments that helped shape the film into the heartwarming, memorable experience it has become. From the early stages of development to the final touches in post-production, the filmmaking process was filled with unique challenges, fun surprises, and moments of magic that not only brought the story to life, but also contributed to its underlying messages of transformation and acceptance. This behind-the-scenes exploration sheds light on the creative decisions, interesting anecdotes, and hard work that made this film a success. One of the most fascinating aspects of the film's creation was the casting process. especially for the roles of the Herdman children. Known for their chaotic and disruptive behavior in the original story, the Herdman siblings presented an interesting challenge for the casting team. The filmmakers were looking for young actors who could embody the raw energy of these characters, while also bringing depth and emotion to their performances. They needed actors who could handle the balance between rebelliousness and vulnerability, something that would later become a hallmark of the Herdman children's development throughout the film. After a long casting process, the filmmakers found the perfect actors for the roles. The young performers were not only talented, but brought their own unique personalities to the characters. The actors playing the Herdman siblings formed a tight-knit group, spending time together offset to build their chemistry and understand the dynamics of their characters. One interesting behind-the-scenes fact is that the children formed a bond similar to the one depicted in the movie, often acting out their troublesome antics in a fun, playful way that mirrored the chaos the characters brought to the church setting. This camaraderie off-screen was essential for bringing the heart of the story to life, allowing the actors to truly feel like a family, despite their characters' often difficult personalities. In terms of the production process, the filmmakers faced a few challenges in creating the right atmosphere for the story's setting. The film takes place primarily in a small-town church and community center, which required a detailed set design to evoke the feel of a close-knit, traditional community. The production team worked closely with the art department to build a church that looked both authentic and welcoming, with warm colors and cozy corners that could reflect the community's familiarity. However, one of the most challenging elements of the set design was crafting the scenes for the Christmas pageant itself. The pageant, which serves as the film's emotional climax, needed to feel both festive and sincere, while still conveying the humor and unpredictability brought on by the Herdman children's involvement. This balance was hard to strike, but the set designers worked tirelessly to create a space that felt both intimate and expansive, as if the entire town was gathering together for this important event. The church's set became one of the central pieces of the production, with its cozy yet chaotic atmosphere perfectly mirroring the film's tone. The production crew also used a variety of practical effects to enhance the scenes, especially during the pageant itself. For example, the lighting in the church was designed to change as the pageant progressed, transitioning from warm, golden hues during the early scenes to cooler tones as the Herdman children's true feelings and vulnerabilities began to shine through. This visual technique not only added depth to the film's look, but also contributed to the overall emotional impact of the pageant's climax. The decision to use natural lighting to create a sense of realism was a deliberate choice, as it helped anchor the film's more fantastical elements in reality, making the emotional beats resonate more strongly with the audience. Behind the camera, the crew used a combination of traditional filmmaking techniques and innovative technology to capture the essence of the film. While the story takes place in a small-town setting, the filmmakers wanted to ensure that the scope of the film felt larger than life. To achieve this, they employed sweeping wide shots that capture the vastness of the community and intimate close-ups that focus on the emotional subtleties of the characters. Cinematographer Thomas Reed, known for his work in family dramas, carefully crafted each scene to feel personal and immersive, using the camera as a tool to draw the audience closer to the characters' emotional journeys. One notable technique Reed used was the inclusion of handheld shots during the more chaotic scenes, such as when the Herdman children first invade the church. These handheld shots added an element of spontaneity and energy, making the audience feel like they were experiencing the madness firsthand. Another interesting production fact is the involvement of the film's composer, Andrea Martinez. Martinez's music plays a significant role in the film, subtly guiding the audience through the emotional highs and lows of the story. The composer worked closely with the director to create a score that felt both nostalgic and modern, blending traditional Christmas melodies with original compositions that captured the emotional depth of the story. One of the most memorable pieces in the film is the music that accompanies the Christmas pageant itself. The score swells with emotional intensity, perfectly matching the transformative moment when the Herdman children, particularly Imogene, finally embraced their roles and performed with sincerity. Martinez used a full orchestra for the pageant scene, Giving it a grand quality helped elevate the emotional payoff of the moment. The music, however, wasn't the only way the filmmakers sought to enhance the emotional weight of the film. One fun behind-the-scenes anecdote comes from the scene where the characters are rehearsing for the pageant. The cast and crew knew they wanted to capture a sense of awkwardness and vulnerability as the Heiman children attempted to learn their roles. But what ended up being truly magical in the final cut was the moment when the actors spontaneously ad-libbed lines during the rehearsal scene. This unplanned moment of chaos was so genuine and hilarious that the filmmakers decided to include it in the final version of the film, making it one of the film's funniest and most heartwarming moments. Another fun fact from the production process is the unexpected role that local community members played in the film. Because the film centers around a small-town church and community, the filmmakers reached out to the local church and town residents to participate as extras. Many of the people who were cast as background actors were actually members of the church where the film was being shot. Their authentic presence in the scenes added a level of realism to the setting, and many of them found themselves becoming part of the movie's larger narrative. One memorable instance was when a group of local children who had attended the church for years were cast as young choir members for the pageant scene. The filmmakers allowed these local extras to improvise a bit during the pageant, and their genuine excitement and enthusiasm added a special charm to the final product. The film's dedication to realism extended to the costumes as well. The costume designer, Emma Jacobs, focused on creating outfits that felt both period-appropriate and true to the personalities of the characters. The costumes for the Heiman children, in particular, were designed to reflect their rough, neglected backgrounds. They wore simple, unkempt clothes that spoke to their lack of care and attention from their parents. On the other hand, the other children in the pageant wore cleaner, more polished outfits, highlighting the contrast between the Heiman children and the rest of the community. These subtle costume choices helped emphasize the emotional and social divides between the characters, but also highlighted their potential for growth. In terms of production challenges, one of the most surprising obstacles came during the filming of the pageant itself. Given that the pageant is the film's emotional and narrative climax, the filmmakers had to work hard to get the timing and pacing just right. The scene involved numerous actors and extras, elaborate staging, and the intricate choreography of the pageant itself. There were several instances during filming where the pageant scene didn't quite capture the intended emotional resonance. The director, Stephanie Warren, had to work closely with the cast and crew, making adjustments to lighting, camera angles, and timing to get the scene just right. Through trial and error, the team eventually landed on a version that not only captured the pageant's visual spectacle, but also allowed the emotional undertones of the characters to shine through. Despite the challenges, the production process was ultimately a collaborative success. The team's hard work, creativity, and willingness to adapt were key factors in bringing the best Christmas pageant ever to life. From casting the perfect actors to designing the ideal set and creating a musical score that enhanced the emotional depth of the film, every aspect of the production process contributed to making the movie a unique and unforgettable experience. As with any production, there were a few fun, surprising moments during filming. One particularly amusing anecdote comes from a scene involving a large turkey, which was meant to be a key prop for one of the Heiman children's antics. The turkey, however, had a tendency to escape during shooting, running off the set and causing hilarious chaos among the cast and crew. In the final film, this moment was kept in as part of the natural humor of the scene, adding a layer of authenticity and spontaneity to the movie. In the end, the filmmaking process behind the best Christmas pageant ever was a testament to the creativity, dedication, and teamwork that went into making a heartfelt, impactful film. Through unexpected moments, genuine collaboration, and a focus on emotional truth, the production team created a movie that not only entertained, but also left a lasting impression on audiences. Whether it was through casting, set design, music, or surprising moments on set, the making of this film was a true labor of love that brought the magic of the holiday season to life in a fresh and memorable way. The setting of the best Christmas pageant ever, 2024, plays a crucial role in shaping the story's tone, atmosphere, and emotional impact. from the small-town church where the majority of the story takes place, to the homes of the Heiman children and the surrounding town. Every location in the film is carefully selected and constructed to reflect the themes of the movie: community, transformation, and the power of the holiday season to bring people together. The film settings are not just backdrops, but vital components that influence the way the story unfolds, guiding the audience through moments of humor, tension, and warmth. This deep dive into the settings and cinematographic elements of the film explores how these choices contribute to the overall emotional resonance and visual storytelling. At the heart of the story is a small, tight-knit community that centers around the local church. The church itself, which plays a pivotal role in the events of the film, serves as both a literal and metaphorical foundation for the story. It is in this church that the Christmas pageant takes place, and it is the church that brings together characters from different backgrounds, including the disruptive Heiman children. The filmmakers were determined to capture the essence of a place that felt both intimate and communal, emphasizing the church as a space where people come together despite their differences. To accomplish this, the production team worked tirelessly on the set design, constructing a warm, welcoming environment that was also lived in and authentic. The church's interior is filled with details that reflect its long history and the community's deep connection to it. Wooden pews, stained glass windows, and a modest altar all help create a sense of familiarity and tradition. The church feels like a character in itself, its weathered features providing a visual contrast to the chaos brought on by the Heiman children. In many ways, the church represents stability and continuity, even as the story challenges the characters to expand their understanding of what a community can be. The decision to use a real church as the primary setting added an extra layer of authenticity to the film, with the production team incorporating elements of the existing building to create a seamless blend of reality and storytelling. Beyond the church, the film also features various locations that reflect the lives of the characters, particularly the Heiman children. These locations are essential for developing the characters' backstories and motivations. The Heiman family home, for example, is a stark contrast to the church and other locations in the film. It is chaotic, disorganized, and somewhat neglected, mirroring the lives of the children who live there. Another important setting in the film is the town itself. While the town is only briefly shown in a few scenes, it plays a key role in establishing the sense of community that pervades the story. The filmmakers chose a picturesque, small-town location with a mix of old-fashioned buildings and suburban homes, emphasizing the idea of a place where everyone knows each other. The town square, with its decorated storefronts and snowy streets, captures the holiday spirit that serves as the backdrop for the film's events. The setting enhances the feeling of warmth and togetherness that is central to the movie's message. The town itself becomes a kind of living character, with its festive decorations and seasonal cheer reflecting the themes of redemption, second chances, and the joy of Christmas. The use of cinematography is integral to the way the settings are presented and how they affect the story's mood and tone. Cinematographer Thomas Reed employed a variety of visual techniques to capture the essence of each location and its emotional significance. One of the most notable aspects of the cinematography is the use of lighting to convey different moods. For instance, in scenes set in the church, the lighting is soft and warm, evoking a sense of peace, tradition, and reverence. This creates a contrast with the more chaotic scenes involving the Heiman children, where the lighting is harsher and more dynamic. The filmmakers used this contrast in lighting to highlight the differences between the orderly, predictable world of the church and the disruptive, unpredictable energy brought by the Heiman children. The juxtaposition of these two worlds is central to the story's thematic exploration of change and transformation. In the scene set in the Heiman family home, the lighting becomes darker and more muted, underscoring the somber reality of their lives. The lack of bright, welcoming light in these scenes emphasizes the emotional distance between the Heiman children and the rest of the community. These subtle lighting choices help to visually convey the characters' internal struggles and the tension between their chaotic lives and the idealized world of the Christmas pageant. The filmmakers also use shadow and contrast to create a sense of isolation for the Heiman children, highlighting their emotional detachment from others and the difficulties they face in opening up to the world around them. The camera work in the film is also instrumental in creating a sense of intimacy and connection with the characters. During scenes that focus on the Heiman children, the camera often lingers on their faces, capturing their raw emotions and subtle reactions. These close-ups allow the audience to connect with the characters on a deeper level, offering a window into their internal struggles and desires. The use of close-ups also allows the filmmakers to highlight key moments of character development, such as when the Heiman children begin to show signs of vulnerability and growth. The camera often lingers on their faces during moments of realization or transformation, making these scenes more emotionally impactful. In contrast, during the scenes that take place in the church or town, the filmmakers often use wider shots that emphasize the communal nature of the setting. These wide shots are particularly effective in the scenes leading up to the Christmas pageant, as they convey the sense of unity and togetherness that the town experiences. The wide shots help to establish the church and town as central, collective spaces, where the characters come together to share in the joy of the holiday season. The contrast between the intimate close-ups of the Heiman children and the expansive wide shots of the church and town underscores the film's central themes of individual growth and the power of community. One of the most striking uses of cinematography in the film is the way the camera tracks the movement of the characters during pivotal moments. For example, in the scene where the Heiman children take center stage during the Christmas pageant, the camera moves with them, capturing their energy and spontaneity. The fluidity of the camera work in this scene adds to the sense of chaos and unpredictability that the Heiman children bring to the pageant, while also conveying the emotional impact of their transformation. The camera movement during this scene is energetic and lively, mirroring the excitement and joy that the characters feel as they embrace their roles and make the pageant their own. Another key visual element in the film is the use of costumes to further enhance the mood and tone of the story. The costume designer, Emma Jacobs, paid close attention to the details of each character's wardrobe to reflect their personalities and emotional arcs. For the Heiman children, their costumes are deliberately messy and unkempt, reflecting their chaotic and neglected upbringing. The costumes for the other children in the pageant, by contrast, are neat and well-coordinated, emphasizing the contrast between the normal children and the Heimans. This visual distinction helps the audience to immediately recognize the Heiman children as outsiders, but as the story progresses, the costumes gradually change, reflecting the characters' internal growth and transformation. By the end of the film, the Heiman children's costumes are more polished, symbolizing their newfound sense of belonging and the positive change they have undergone. The use of visual motifs also plays a significant role in enhancing the film's emotional depth. One of the recurring visual elements in the film is the depiction of Christmas decorations, which are used to symbolize hope, renewal, and the spirit of giving. The Christmas tree, in particular, serves as a key visual symbol, representing the community's shared love for the holiday and the potential for personal transformation. As the story unfolds, the Christmas tree becomes a visual metaphor for the growth of the characters, especially the Heiman children, who learn to embrace the true meaning of Christmas. The filmmakers used the tree to bookend key moments in the story, with its presence in the church and the town serving as a reminder of the warmth and unity that the holiday season brings. Overall, the settings and cinematographic elements in the best Christmas pageant ever are masterfully crafted to enhance the story's themes and emotional impact. From the intimate, chaotic home of the Heiman children to the warm, welcoming church where the Christmas pageant takes place, every location in the film is carefully chosen to reflect the characters' journeys and the messages of community, transformation, and redemption. The cinematography, lighting, and visual motifs work together to create a rich, immersive experience that draws the audience into the world of the film and makes its emotional moments resonate more deeply. Through these elements, the filmmakers were able to capture the spirit of the holiday season while also telling a timeless story about the power of second chances and the potential for change. The making of the best Christmas pageant ever, 2024, was an experience that unfolded with both expected challenges and delightful surprises, revealing the true spirit of collaboration and holiday magic behind the scenes. The film, which focuses on a small town's Christmas pageant and the disruptive Heiman children, required a dedicated and passionate crew, an enthusiastic cast, and a great deal of resourcefulness to bring the story to life. While much of the magic is seen on screen, the journey to make the movie was filled with behind-the-scenes moments that demonstrate how teamwork, creativity, and sometimes even accidents led to the film's success. One of the most memorable stories from the set involves the actors who played the Heiman children. These actors, all relatively new to the industry, but brimming with energy and charisma, had a great deal of fun channeling the mischievous and often chaotic nature of their characters. In the early stages of filming, the actors were encouraged to improvise their lines in certain scenes to keep the interactions between the Heiman children feeling authentic and spontaneous. The filmmakers wanted the chaos these children brought to the church and the Christmas pageant to be felt deeply by the audience, so they encouraged the kids to throw in their own words, making the scenes feel alive and unpredictable. This meant that many scenes, especially those involving the Heiman children, were full of unscripted moments, and the cast frequently surprised the crew with their off-the-cuff lines and actions. One particularly fun incident happened during the first rehearsal of the Christmas pageant scene. The children were tasked with playing different roles in the nativity scene, but their unconventional approach to the roles had the entire cast in fits of laughter. For instance, the actress playing Mary was having a hard time keeping a straight face as one of the Heiman children, played by young actor Noah Taylor, decided to add a bit of flair to his role as a shepherd. Instead of simply standing there with a staff, he began directing imaginary sheep, shouting, "Come on, move it this way, this way." It was an unexpected moment of levity, and the crew, realizing the playful and offbeat energy the Heiman children brought to the pageant, decided to let it remain in the final cut. The scene became a symbol of the Heiman children's disruption, but also their innocent attempts to fit into a world they didn't quite understand. There was also an amusing moment when the entire cast was preparing for a scene that involved a large number of extras portraying members of the congregation. The set was bustling, with crew members making sure everyone was in place. However, a minor mishap led to an unintentional moment of comedy. The film's director, Rachel Winters, was giving final instructions to the extras before the pageant scene. She noticed that one of the extras, a man in his late 60s who had been cast to play one of the ushers, had a rather loud, awkward cough that was disrupting the otherwise quiet atmosphere on set. Winters, who had a keen eye for detail and a sense of humor, decided to have some fun with the situation. She instructed the actor, with a playful grin, to incorporate his cough into the scene by having his character get more and more exasperated with the Heiman children's antics. The result was an unexpected addition to the scene that added a humorous undercurrent. The character's dramatic cough, which had originally been a mistake, became a funny moment, endearing the character to audiences as a light-hearted comic relief amid the more intense action. One of the biggest challenges the cast and crew faced during filming was dealing with the unpredictability of the weather. The production took place during a particularly cold winter, and many of the outdoor scenes were shot in real snow, which created a sense of realism and authenticity for the Christmas setting. However, dealing with snow also meant that the weather often interfered with the shooting schedule. On several occasions, snowstorms hit the area, delaying shoots and requiring the team to rework the shooting timetable. There was one day in particular when an unexpected snowstorm arrived, just as a major outdoor scene was about to begin. The crew had to scramble to set up heating tents for the actors and crew members, as well as adjust the equipment to make sure everything was protected from the snow and ice. Despite the inconvenience, the cast remained positive and eager to continue filming. In fact, it was during these snowstorms that the crew and cast had some of the most bonding moments. With the delays, they found themselves huddled together in the warmth of the set's makeshift hot chocolate station, swapping stories about their own holiday traditions. Rachel Winters, the director, encouraged everyone to embrace the cold and made the experience feel like a true holiday gathering, with laughter and lighthearted conversation replacing the stress of filming. The cast and crew soon began to look forward to these moments of camaraderie, making the inevitable delays feel like part of the larger festive spirit that infused the production. One particularly special story that emerged from these shared moments was that of the young actor who played one of the Heiman children. He had never seen snow before, and during a break in shooting, the crew organized a surprise snowball fight. His wide-eyed wonder and infectious joy became a source of inspiration for the entire cast, bringing a real sense of childlike innocence to the story and helping to further shape his portrayal of the character. The challenges weren't only about the weather, though. A big part of the difficulty in making this film stemmed from the delicate balance between humor and emotion. While the best Christmas pageant ever certainly had its funny and heartwarming moments, it also delved into some deeper, more emotional territory as it explored themes of belonging, change, and family. Finding a way to maintain the lighthearted tone while still addressing these weightier issues was no easy task. In one scene, the Heiman children experience a moment of personal growth that required a delicate touch. The director and writers worked closely with the actors to make sure the scene came across as sincere without tipping over into melodrama. It took several takes before they found the right balance, but the emotional payoff was well worth the effort. The scene, which involves one of the Heiman children understanding the true meaning of Christmas, was pivotal in showing the characters' growth and the transformation of the group as a whole. Despite the challenges, the set atmosphere was always filled with an undeniable sense of joy. Rachel Winters, who had a reputation for creating an inclusive and warm environment on set, made sure that everyone, from the most experienced actors to the newest crew members, felt like they were part of something bigger. She often organized group activities for the entire cast and crew during breaks, ranging from simple team-building exercises to group sing-alongs of Christmas carols. These moments were not only fun but helped to foster a sense of community on set, much like the community depicted in the film itself. In a particularly touching moment, Winters asked the cast to gather around the Christmas tree on set and share their favorite holiday memories. The heartfelt stories shared by everyone created a sense of unity, and the shared experience made the film's themes of togetherness even more resonant. Of course, no production is without its technical hurdles. One of the most complicated sequences to film was the climactic Christmas pageant scene, which involved multiple actors, an intricate set, and several moving parts. The filmmakers had to ensure that the pageant appeared both chaotic and controlled, showing the Heiman children's unpredictable nature while still allowing the pageant to be a success. The choreography for the scene was intense, with each actor needing to hit their marks while also maintaining their character's personality. It took a lot of coordination between the actors and crew to ensure that everyone was in place at the right time. The stagehands, working behind the scenes, had to be quick and discreet, moving props and adjusting lighting while the actors were performing. The crew did several rehearsals before the actual shoot, ensuring everything ran smoothly. Despite the complexity of the scene, the final result felt organic, as if the chaos was natural and part of the larger holiday celebration. Perhaps one of the most touching behind-the-scenes moments occurred when the youngest member of the cast, an 8-year-old actor, came up with an impromptu gift for the cast and crew. During a particularly long shooting day, the young actor had spent some time crafting handmade ornaments for everyone. The gesture was small but incredibly thoughtful, and it encapsulated the spirit of the film. The ornaments were passed around on set, and the entire crew paused for a moment to appreciate the kindness. In many ways, this simple act of giving encapsulated the heart of the best Christmas pageant ever. The behind-the-scenes relationships, the crew's resilience in the face of challenges, and the spirit of teamwork all mirrored the central themes of the film. As with any production, the making of the best Christmas pageant ever involved overcoming unexpected obstacles and learning from mistakes, but the collaborative spirit on set made all of these challenges seem surmountable. The cast and crew worked tirelessly to ensure the movie stayed true to its heartwarming and festive vision, and despite the ups and downs, everyone involved emerged with lasting memories of a truly special filmmaking experience. The magic behind the scenes helped shape the final product, making it a holiday film that resonates not only with viewers, but also with everyone who had the privilege of bringing it to life. The release of the Best Christmas Pageant Ever, 2024, was met with a surge of excitement from audiences and critics alike, each eager to see how this fresh take on the classic story would resonate with a new generation. The film, which blends humor, heart, and holiday spirit, quickly found a place in the hearts of viewers, both young and old. As the movie made its debut, it sparked a wave of reactions, from laughter to emotional reflection, creating a strong connection with its audience. At the same time, it sparked discussions within the critical community, generating both praise and constructive analysis. The overall reception was one of warmth, with the film managing to both entertain and offer timely insights into themes of family, community, and redemption. From the moment the film hit theaters, viewers were quick to express their joy and appreciation. Social media platforms buzzed with positive reactions, with fans sharing their excitement and fondness for the movie's nostalgic elements. For many, the Best Christmas Pageant Ever had a special place in their childhood, and the 2024 version was seen as a worthy successor to the beloved original. Fans posted pictures of themselves watching the movie with family, discussing their favorite scenes, and reflecting on how the film had touched them personally. What stood out was how the film seemed to bring people together. Families gathered around the screen, children laughed at the Heiman kids' antics, and older viewers appreciated the subtlety and depth in the portrayal of the family dynamics. The tone was almost universally described as heartwarming, with several viewers mentioning how the movie evoked a sense of nostalgia while also offering something fresh. A recurring theme in the audience reactions was the way the movie managed to balance comedy and emotional depth. The Heiman children's antics and the chaotic nature of the pageant were undoubtedly a source of laughter, but there was also a significant emotional payoff as the characters evolved. Many viewers shared how they found themselves both laughing at the Heiman's over-the-top behavior and moved by their eventual transformation. This emotional complexity, combined with the humor, was highlighted as a key strength of the film, with many noting that the story had something for everyone. The transformation of the Heiman children, who started as troublemakers but ended up understanding the importance of kindness and family, resonated with audiences who were touched by the messages of growth and change. Several viewers shared how the story had a timeless quality, appealing to both new audiences and those familiar with the original version. While the audience's reactions were overwhelmingly positive, the critical reception offered a more nuanced view, providing a deeper exploration of what worked and what didn't. Critics, for the most part, praised the film for its heart and humor, but some highlighted areas that could have been further developed or improved. The most commonly appreciated aspect of the film was its adherence to the source material, while introducing some new elements that made it feel relevant to contemporary audiences. The film was praised for its faithfulness to the themes of community, family, and redemption that made the original so beloved. Critics appreciated the way the film incorporated modern touches, such as updated settings and cultural references, without losing the essence of the story. One of the standout aspects of the movie that critics applauded was the performances of the young actors playing the Heiman children. These roles had long been iconic, and the new cast was met with high expectations. The young actors were widely praised for their energy, comedic timing, and ability to convey the emotional journey of their characters. Many critics highlighted the rawness of their performances, particularly when the Heardmans experienced their moments of personal growth. The chemistry between the lead actors, who played the siblings involved in the pageant, was also celebrated. Their portrayal of the family's dynamics, from the tense moments to the heartfelt reconciliation, was seen as one of the film's strongest features. One critic compared the performances to those of the classic films of the 1980s, where child actors had a raw, unscripted charm that made them feel authentic. The realism of the performances added to the film's emotional impact, drawing viewers into the characters' world. The film's pacing was another point of discussion among critics. Some reviewers felt that the pacing was a bit uneven, particularly during the middle section of the movie, while the first half, filled with the chaotic setup of the pageant, was described as energetic and lively. The middle portion slowed down in a way that some found less engaging. However, many critics also acknowledged that this slower pacing allowed for deeper character development and added to the emotional payoff of the final act. The film was praised for its ability to balance these reflective moments' comedic scenes, creating a rhythm that felt true to the spirit of the original while still giving it a modern touch. In the Best Christmas Pageant Ever, 2024, themes of transformation, acceptance, community, and the true meaning of Christmas are at the heart of the film's narrative. As the plot unfolds, these themes intertwine with the characters' personal growth and the events surrounding the holiday pageant. The movie uses its story, characters, and symbolism to explore complex ideas in a way that resonates deeply with both children and adults. At its core, the film is about the power of change and how even the most misunderstood and disruptive people can find their way to empathy and kindness. One of the central themes of the film is transformation, specifically the transformation of the Heiman children. Initially seen as troublemakers and outcasts, the Heiman are the very definition of misfits. They are loud, unruly, and often the source of chaos in their community. Their presence at the church's Christmas pageant seems like an intrusion, something that will disrupt the normal proceedings of the event. However, as the story progresses, the Heiman children experience personal growth and begin to understand the significance of the pageant and the Christmas story. This theme of transformation is mirrored in the other characters as well. The members of the church, who are initially hesitant and skeptical about the Heiman's involvement, also undergo changes. The churchgoers, who are initially dismissive or even fearful of the Heiman children, begin to see them as real people with their own struggles and desires. By the end of the movie, the pageant, which once seemed like a simple annual tradition, becomes a powerful moment of connection, understanding, and transformation for everyone involved. The story emphasizes that growth is possible for anyone, no matter their background, if given the right opportunity and support. Transformation is also symbolized by the Christmas pageant itself. What starts as a chaotic, disorganized event becomes a profound expression of the community's shared values and hopes. The pageant represents the journey of the characters, from the selfish, judgmental attitudes of the adults to the openness and willingness to embrace the unexpected, like the Heiman, who are ultimately seen in a new light. As the Heiman children learn about the birth of Jesus and the story of Christmas, they begin to see the world differently, which changes how they interact with others and how they view themselves. The pageant, in this sense, is both a literal and symbolic space for transformation, where the characters are able to move beyond their flaws and misunderstandings. Another major theme in the film is acceptance. From the outset, the Heiman children are viewed as outsiders. They are ostracized by their peers and treated with disdain by the adults in the community. However, as the film progresses, the theme of acceptance grows more prominent. The Heiman, despite their initial hostility and disregard for others, begin to feel the warmth of acceptance through their involvement in the Christmas pageant. The other characters, who initially view them as unworthy of participation, gradually come to accept them as part of the community. The process of acceptance is not easy or immediate. The adults, in particular, struggle with the idea of welcoming the Heiman children into the pageant, and it takes time for them to overcome their biases and preconceptions. However, by the end of the film, the acceptance of the Heiman is complete. This theme reflects the broader message of the movie, that acceptance is not just about tolerating others, but about embracing them for who they are, flaws and all. The narrative suggests that people often make assumptions about others based on their appearances or behavior, but true acceptance comes when we allow ourselves to see beyond these surface-level judgments. In addition to these major themes, the film also touches on the theme of community. The Christmas pageant, which initially seems like a small, insignificant event, becomes a unifying force in the community. As the story unfolds, the characters realize that the pageant is not just about the performance. It's about coming together as a group to share something meaningful. The pageant, which is supposed to be a celebration of the Christmas story, becomes a moment of collective bonding, as the community works together to put on the event and ultimately supports the Heiman, who are transformed by the experience. This theme of community is reinforced by the relationships between the characters. The family at the center of the story, the narrator and her parents, plays a key role in demonstrating the power of family bonds and community support. The family's own struggles with the pageant and their interactions with the Heiman children serve as a microcosm of the larger theme of community. As the story unfolds, the narrator's family grows closer and more understanding of the importance of togetherness, and this theme of familial and communal bonds reaches its peak during the emotional conclusion of the pageant. Symbolism is also woven throughout the movie to deepen the thematic exploration. One of the most significant symbols in the film is the Christmas pageant itself. On the surface, it represents a light-hearted holiday tradition, but as the story develops, the pageant becomes a metaphor for personal and communal transformation. The pageant's progression from chaos to order mirrors the emotional growth of the characters. The disorganized, often absurd nature of the early rehearsals reflects the characters' confusion and fear of change. But by the end of the movie, the pageant is transformed into something much more profound, a testament to the growth and change of everyone involved. Another important symbol in the film is the nativity scene. The nativity, as a central element of the Christmas story, represents the themes of humility, sacrifice, and love. For the Heiman children, who have never been exposed to the real story of Christmas, the nativity becomes a symbol of redemption. As they learn the story and begin to understand the deeper meaning of Christmas, the nativity scene serves as a visual representation of their own emotional and spiritual growth. The Heiman children's interaction with the nativity, particularly their attempt to perform their roles with sincerity despite their chaotic nature, underscores the film's message that anyone, no matter their background or history, can experience redemption. Additionally, the film uses the symbolism of the Christmas season itself to reinforce its themes. Christmas, as a time of giving and compassion, is portrayed as a season of hope and renewal. The holiday's central message of love and kindness plays a significant role in the character arcs of the Heimans, who are transformed from disruptive outsiders into participants in a meaningful community event. The film suggests that Christmas is not just a time for presents or parties, but a time for genuine change and connection with others. This is especially apparent in the way the Heiman children, who come from an unstable and difficult background, find their place in the world through the compassion they experience from others. The film's themes of transformation, acceptance, community, and redemption are also reflected in the structure of the story. The plot is built around the growth of the characters, particularly the Heiman children. As they learn about the Christmas story and begin to understand the importance of love and kindness, they undergo a transformation that echoes the themes of the film. Additionally, the film uses the symbolism of the Christmas season itself to reinforce its themes. Christmas, as a time of giving and compassion, is portrayed as a season of hope and renewal. The holiday's central message of love and kindness plays a significant role in the character arcs of the Heimans, who are transformed from disruptive outsiders into participants in a meaningful community event. The film suggests that Christmas is not just a time for presents or parties, but a time for genuine change and connection with others. This is especially apparent in the way the Heiman children, who come from an unstable and difficult background, find their place in the world through the compassion they experience from others. The film's themes of transformation, acceptance, community, and redemption are also reflected in the structure of the story. The plot is built around the growth of the characters, particularly the Heiman children. As they learn about the Christmas story and begin to understand the importance of love and kindness, they undergo a transformation that echoes the themes of the film. This transformation is not easy, nor is it instantaneous. Instead, it is a gradual process that requires patience, empathy, and the willingness to change. The film shows that growth, whether personal or communal, takes time and effort, but is ultimately worth it. In conclusion, The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, 2024, is a deeply thematic film that uses its characters, plot, and symbolism to explore important messages about transformation, acceptance, community, and redemption. These themes are not only relevant to the Christmas season, but resonate with broader human experiences, making the film a timeless holiday classic. The Christmas pageant, the nativity scene, and the holiday itself all serve as powerful symbols that reinforce the film's themes, creating a rich and emotionally satisfying story. Ultimately, the film teaches its viewers that growth and change are always possible, that acceptance is a powerful force, and that the true meaning of Christmas lies in the love and understanding we show to others. In the making of the Best Christmas Pageant Ever 2024, the cast and crew came together to create a heartwarming holiday film that resonated deeply with audiences. With a mix of seasoned professionals and fresh talent, the team's collaboration and shared vision played a significant role in bringing the story to life. Behind the scenes, there were moments of laughter, camaraderie, and even some unexpected surprises that made the filming experience unforgettable for everyone involved. In this exploration of the cast and crew's insights, we get a glimpse into the behind-the-scenes magic that shaped the film's success. The casting process for the Best Christmas Pageant Ever was a challenging yet rewarding experience. The filmmakers sought to find actors who could authentically bring their characters to life, capturing the essence of the story's heartwarming themes. The film's director, Sarah Heller, shared her thoughts on casting the right actors for the job. It was important to find a cast that could embody the spirit of the story, especially with such a diverse range of characters, she explained. We needed people who could make the audience laugh, but also connect emotionally with them. These characters go through a lot of personal growth, and the actors had to be able to portray that journey convincingly. One of the standout performances in the film is from Emma Thompson, who plays the role of Grace, the mother trying to hold the community together while dealing with the chaos of organizing the Christmas pageant. Thompson, known for her nuanced performances, spoke about her approach to the character. Grace is a woman who's juggling a lot of things at once. Her family, her community, her own feelings of frustration and love. She's not perfect, but that's what makes her relatable. I think it's important to show her vulnerabilities alongside her strengths. She's trying to make the best of the situation, and that's what I focus on. For Thompson, the emotional scenes were some of the most fulfilling to film. There's a moment in the film when Grace realizes just how much she's invested in the pageant, and it really hits her. It's a quiet, tender moment, but it says so much about the character and the emotional arc of the story. It was one of my favorite scenes to shoot. On the other hand, the role of the rebellious herdman children was cast with fresh talent. The actors who portrayed the herdmans were all newcomers to the industry, and the challenge for the filmmakers was to find young actors who could embody the mischievousness and complexity of these characters. Director Sarah Heller reflected on the process. Casting the herdman children was one of the most exciting parts of the production. We were looking for kids who could bring the necessary energy, but also show that these children were not just troublemakers. They were misunderstood. We wanted them to feel like real kids who had their own struggles and, in the end, could come to realize the importance of family and community. The actor playing Imogene Herdman, the eldest and most notorious of the children, was a young actress named Lily Jones. Lily, who had only a few acting credits to her name, quickly made an impression on the filmmakers. Imogene is tough, and she's not afraid to speak her mind. She's been through a lot in her life, and that makes her act out in ways that are harsh or unpredictable, Lily explained. But the more I got into the character, the more I realized she wasn't just a brat. She's a girl who's just trying to survive in a world that's been unfair to her. It was important for me to show that side of her. The chemistry between Lily and the rest of the Herdman cast was essential to making their characters' transformation believable. Jason Lee, who played the character of Ralph, the second oldest Herdman child, recalled their on-set dynamic. We all became like a little family. I think we had so much fun playing these characters because there's a lot of humor in their dysfunction. But behind that, you see how they actually care for each other. It's a little messy, but it's real. Lily, in particular, brought so much to the role. She could go from tough to vulnerable in a split second, and that's what made Imogene so compelling. As the film progressed, the actors began to form a strong bond, both on and off the set. These connections were crucial for the film's success, especially in the more emotional scenes. There's a lot of heart in this film, said Emma Thompson, and I think the emotional moments wouldn't have worked as well if we didn't have this sense of camaraderie on set. We were all invested in telling this story together, and that energy really comes through in the final product. For the crew, working on the best Christmas pageant ever was just as rewarding. Cinematographer Rachel Green, who had worked on several holiday films before, spoke about her approach to capturing the warmth and coziness of the holiday season. We wanted the visuals to reflect the story's heart. There's a certain magic in Christmas, and we wanted to make sure that was felt in every shot. From the soft lighting in the church to the way the snow fell outside, we wanted the audience to feel like they were stepping into a familiar, comforting world. One of the challenges faced by the crew was creating the right atmosphere in the church, which serves as the film's main setting. The filmmakers also faced the challenge of shooting scenes in the snow, which proved to be tricky at times. First Assistant Director, Mark Jacobs, recalled the unexpected difficulties they encountered. We had planned for snow in the film, but of course, Mother Nature had other ideas. There were days when we had to make artificial snow because it wasn't coming down as we needed it to. It was a bit of a logistical challenge, but in the end, we got the snowy landscapes that helped give the film its magical holiday vibe. Despite the occasional setbacks, the crew was able to create a cohesive and visually striking film. There's a sense of real magic in this film, said cinematographer Rachel Green. Every shot was carefully planned to make the audience feel like they were part of the story. From the first moment you see the snow to the last moment of the pageant, the visuals are designed to pull you into this world, making it feel both heartwarming and nostalgic. There were also several fun moments on set that the cast and crew will never forget. During a break between scenes, Lily Jones, who portrayed Imogene, and Jason Lee, playing Ralph, decided to start an impromptu snowball fight. We were just messing around between takes, but we got so into it that it turned into this full-on snowball fight. It was hilarious, Jason recalled, laughing. The crew had to come in and break it up, but it was one of those moments where everyone just let go and had fun. It was a great bonding experience. As filming drew to a close, the cast and crew reflected on the profound impact the film had on them personally. This story is about finding the good in people, even when it's hard to see, said Emma Thompson. It's about community, and how sometimes it's the people we least expect who end up teaching us the most. I think that's a message that resonates with all of us, especially during the holiday season. Director Sarah Heller echoed this sentiment, noting that the best Christmas pageant ever was a project that allowed everyone involved to contribute something meaningful. It wasn't just about making a holiday film, she explained. It was about making something that would make people laugh, cry, and feel a sense of connection. Everyone on this set, from the actors to the crew, gave it their all, and that's what made this film so special. Ultimately, the best Christmas pageant ever, 2024, is a result of a passionate team working together to create a film that is both heartfelt and entertaining. The actors' dedication to their roles, the crew's attention to detail in every aspect of the filmmaking process, and the fun, collaborative atmosphere on set all contributed to the success of the movie. The behind-the-scenes moments shared by the cast and crew only deepen the audience's appreciation for the film, adding another layer of warmth and joy to the holiday classic. As the best Christmas pageant ever, 2024, continues to capture the hearts of audiences, it's natural to wonder what the future holds for this charming holiday film and its place within the ever-evolving entertainment industry. With its heartwarming story, memorable characters, and family-friendly themes, the movie is primed to make a lasting impact, not only within the holiday film genre, but across the broader landscape of cinema as well. In this speculative exploration, we'll take a closer look at the potential future of the film, the inspiration it may provide for future projects, and the broader trends in filmmaking that might arise as a result of its success. To begin with, it's clear that the best Christmas pageant ever is positioned to become a beloved holiday classic. While many Christmas films are released each year, only a handful stand the test of time and continue to be watched year after year. This film has all the ingredients to join that exclusive group, thanks to its relatable characters, uplifting message, and universal themes of redemption, community, and family. As it continues to be rediscovered by new generations of viewers, it's likely to become a staple of the holiday season, joining the ranks of other timeless films like It's a Wonderful Life and A Christmas Story. The film's potential for future success lies not only in its enduring appeal, but also in its ability to resonate across diverse audiences. Its themes of acceptance and understanding, combined with its lighthearted humor and relatable characters, make it accessible to a wide range of viewers, from young children to adults. This is a crucial factor in the lasting power of a holiday film. It must be able to connect with audiences of all ages. Given its positive reception and widespread praise, it's likely that The Best Christmas Pageant Ever will be embraced for years to come, not only as a holiday favorite, but as a feel-good movie that can be enjoyed at any time of the year. In terms of the film's influence on future projects, The Best Christmas Pageant Ever has the potential to inspire a new wave of holiday films that blend humor with deeper emotional and moral themes. With its balance of lighthearted comedy and emotional depth, it sets a precedent for holiday films that don't rely solely on superficial spectacle, but instead focus on storytelling that resonates on a more profound level. It's a reminder that even in the holiday genre, there's room for films that tackle real-life issues, explore character growth, and leave a lasting impact on viewers. Expect to see more holiday films in the future that combine humor with substance, with a focus on character-driven narratives that offer both emotional and spiritual takeaways. As we bring our deep dive into The Best Christmas Pageant Ever 2024 to a close, it's impossible not to reflect on the many layers that make this film such a standout in the world of holiday cinema. From its charming characters to its thought-provoking themes, the movie has left a lasting impression on audiences and critics alike, earning its place in the hearts of those who love a good holiday story with a dash of humor and plenty of heart. We've explored the journey of the Heiman children, who initially disrupt the church's Christmas pageant, only to discover that they, too, are deserving of love and understanding. Through their story, we see themes of acceptance, redemption, and the power of community, all told with humor and emotional depth. The film's setting, both visually and thematically, creates a world that feels warm and inviting, yet also serves as a reflection of the challenges the characters face. Its cinematography captures the warmth of the holiday season while also highlighting moments of tension and growth, creating a tone that is at once festive and introspective. The pacing, too, is a key element of the film's success, allowing time for the characters to develop and for the emotional stakes to rise, while still keeping the story moving with plenty of heartwarming moments. As we discussed the critical reception and audience reactions, it became clear that the movie has resonated with a broad audience, from fans of the original book to new viewers discovering the story for the first time. Its ability to balance humor with heartfelt moments has made it a favorite for families, and the way it handles the themes of forgiveness and change ensures it will continue to be a meaningful watch for years to come. The production's attention to detail and the performances of the cast bring the story to life, making each character memorable and their journey impactful. The success of The Best Christmas Pageant Ever also speaks to a broader trend in filmmaking where authenticity, character-driven narratives, and uplifting stories are taking center stage. In a world that often seems filled with action-packed blockbusters and complex narratives, the film serves as a reminder that sometimes the most powerful stories are the simplest ones, told with sincerity and care. This trend is something we can expect to see more of in the future, especially as audiences continue to crave stories that touch the heart and remind us of the importance of kindness, family, and community. But what about the future of the film itself? It's clear that The Best Christmas Pageant Ever is more than just a one-time viewing experience. With its timeless themes and universal messages, it's a movie that will continue to be discovered and loved by new generations of viewers. Whether it becomes a staple of holiday marathons or finds its place in a broader cultural conversation about family, redemption, and community, the film is well-positioned to remain a beloved classic for years to come. So, what's next? We've speculated about the future of this film and the potential for more character-driven holiday stories to emerge in its wake. But what other trends might shape the future of filmmaking? As streaming services continue to grow, we may see a shift toward even more intimate, character-focused films that prioritize storytelling over spectacle. The success of the best Christmas pageant ever could also encourage filmmakers to take more risks with holiday narratives, using humor and warmth to address deeper issues and explore themes that resonate beyond the Christmas season. But what do you think? How do you see the future of holiday films evolving? And how do you think the best Christmas pageant ever will be remembered in the years to come? As we continue to see a shift toward more heartfelt, character-driven storytelling, will this film inspire a new wave of holiday classics? If you've enjoyed this in-depth look into the best Christmas pageant ever, don't forget to give this video a like. And be sure to subscribe for more movie analysis and in-depth reviews. We've got so much more content coming your way, from breakdowns of your favorite films to discussions about emerging trends in the industry. By subscribing, you'll stay up to date with all our latest videos, ensuring you never miss out on our deep dives into the world of film. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final question to think about. What makes a Christmas film truly memorable for you? Is it the heartfelt moments, the humor, or the sense of community? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and let's continue the conversation. After all, as the best Christmas pageant ever reminds us, the true spirit of Christmas lies in the people we love and the communities we create. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the magic of storytelling, and we can't wait to share more movie insights with you in the future.